Livery reveal season is in full swing, and as expected, no one's giving away anything. That was until Alfa Romeo released their car, and that has changed everything. There is so much to look at on this car, and while the fans might be impressed with the mean new livery, Martin Brundle isn't convinced. Look past the livery, and there's a lot that deserves more attention. Stick around to find out what Martin Brundle's issue with Alfa Romeo is, and what Alfa have done that could make them far more competitive than you were expecting. The place to start is definitely with the reveal itself and Alfa Romeo's new livery. You'll have to give your opinion down below, but we think it's mean. Sure, the red and black might not be the most on-brand for Alfa Romeo, but the car looks amazing. It's like Dennis the Menace grew up and became a graphic designer. If you don't know who that is, he's a children's comic book character from the UK. Basically a British Bart Simpson, but much meaner. We're so glad the exposed carbon from last season is back as well. From a purely car fan point of view, when I think of fast cars, I think of exposed carbon fiber, and that makes this car look fast to me. Not that it looking fast means anything. I have a spoiler and racing stripes on my 1999 Honda Civic, and that definitely isn't fast. So what could Martin Brundle possibly have against this new Alfa design? Brundle has been a long-time pundit on Sky Sports F1, so knows what he's talking about when it comes to how the cars will look on the track and on people's TVs, and believes the black plus the carbon finish will make it an issue. Love the back of the rear wing, Brundle tweeted. This new low-weight carbon finish is becoming very prevalent in F1. Weight limit drops by 2 kilograms this year, and most teams were struggling before. But this car will be hard to see on TV or trackside on an overcast day. We're glad Martin likes the carbon as well, but what does he mean about it being hard to see on track? Well, driving a black car on a black track, especially when it's a horrible wet day like in Japan last year, will make the car hard to spot. As fans, we'll still be able to see it. It's hard to miss all that red, but it might not be as clear as their design of last year. Not too much of a problem from our end, but for the people who pay millions of dollars to be featured on the car, that is a problem. Formula One cars are basically billboards on wheels, and if you pay for a billboard, you want people to actually be able to see it. So those sponsors will be watching very closely to check they can actually see their names, or that Alfa might change colour mid-season. Speaking of sponsors, I quickly want to say thank you to our sponsors today, Established Titles. This is a fun novelty gift for that friend or family who cares about the environment and wants to be part of the replanting of the world. Established Titles base their product on the historic Scottish custom of calling landowners lairds, which is lord or lady to you and me. When you purchase one of their gifts, you can serve at least 1 square foot of land on a private estate in Eddleston, Scotland. On top of that, Established Titles plant a tree with the global charities One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future in your honour. You also get a beautiful certificate with a crest and plot number. So not only do you have something to hang above your fireplace, you're also helping preserve the natural Scottish landscape and helping plant trees around the world. Sebastian Vettel would be proud. You could even add your new title to your dating profile, race day tickets, or your credit card, making this a great last-minute gift. The first 200 people who buy a title pack with our code will get theirs basically next to ours, just a few minutes of walking away. So depending on how many of you take the chance to get the title you deserve, we could start our own little Formula One kingdom. Established Titles is running a massive Valentine's Day sale right now. Plus, if you use the code F1Reverse, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/F1Reverse to get your gifts now and help support the channel. Right, let's get back to Alfa Romeo and their potentially invisible car. Alfa Romeo wouldn't be the first team to have to change car design mid-season due to visibility issues. The 2017 Haas also had a stealth bomber-esque black and grey scheme with red highlighting. It was such a problem for the sponsors back then that they were forced to make a change mid-season. We reviewed how you see it on television, and it looked that on the side, the Haas, you could not really see it, Steiner said in 2017. So the creative guys came up with some ideas until we found what Gene Haas liked, and that's why it changed. It's very simple. It is a little bit of a different style. To make it more visible, they went through a few iterations, and they thought the white would stand out more. Plus, making it, the logo, bigger would help as well. I hope this doesn't happen with Alfa Romeo because I really like the current design, but money talks, and if the sponsors want change, it will happen. Keep your fingers crossed they don't though. Like I said earlier, the livery was the first thing to catch our eye when the pictures were released, but there was far more to take notice of past that. The first thing that caught the eye was the floor edge. The comb-like floor edge caught the eye of many an armchair analyst, and it got us sucked in as well. As amazing as it may look though, it was pretty quickly debunked as being illegal. F1 analyst Craig Scarborough quickly pointed out that Alfa Romeo did the same thing last year on their livery release. Well, not exactly the same, but similar. Then we went and checked the technical specs, and on page 17, section 3.5.3 A to E, the rules pretty clearly point this out as illegal. As amazing as it would be seeing anyone getting anywhere near the Alfa Romeo having their tyres shredded by the floor edge, this won't be what the Bahrain car will look like. Something that might be on the car in Bahrain is what looks like a second side pod behind the driver's head. This was seen on last year's Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri, but to a much smaller extent. If you look at the images of the 2022 Alfa Tauri car, you can see how the halo seems to carry on all the way to the back of the car, creating a shelf along the upper part of the car and ending level with the top of the beam wing. Alfa Romeo seem to have taken their design to the next level in 2023 and have basically taken a Ferrari side pod, shrunk it down and stuck it on the side of their car. Now, this could be Alfa Romeo throwing everybody off, but it seems to be a legal and believable addition to the car, so we're going to give it the once over. We've described it as a Ferrari-style pod because of how it has that scooped channel in it that became associated with the Ferrari-style side pod last season. It's impossible to say how effective it will be. It might be completely useless, no one can say. It probably wouldn't be on the car if it was completely useless though, so that seems unlikely. Alfa Romeo will be hoping it will generate more downforce, obviously. With the changes to the floors and the amount of downforce the ground effect floors create being reduced by 15 to 20%, teams have to find that downforce elsewhere. There are also slotted vents there, which tells us that air that's gone in through the side pods and has passed over the heat exchangers that cool the engine will then be expelled there. The Ferrari engine had huge heat regulation problems last season, which made it painfully unreliable. While Ferrari have apparently found the issue and resolved it, maybe they've advised their customers to look at how they cool their cars and look for ways to improve the efficiency of their cooling. Without seeing underneath, it's impossible to know for sure. The new second side pod, or side pod shelf, whatever you want to call it, also slopes down towards the rear of the car and points towards the beam wing. This means the air coming off there will be interacting with the air that has gone under the car as well. Alfa Romeo might have found they can generate far more downforce from their beam wing with this design. All we can do at home is speculate, but it's exciting to see the new regulation cars evolving in the off-season. So tell us, what do you think of the new livery? What are your thoughts on that new shelf pod, side shelf second pod? Maybe someone could come up with a decent name for it for us. Whatever it is, tell us down below, and on your way down, don't forget to subscribe in preparation for the 2023 season. Until next time, drive safe and bye for now.